There's a lot of tasks in electrical that we wouldn't recommend that a homeowner take on by themselves. Okay. But something simple like an electrical outlet, a lot of homeowners are handy enough to get this done. So today, we're going to kind of go over some of the finer points of how to safely swap out an electrical outlet. Okay, so reasons why you'd want to swap out your outlets in the home. Number one would be safety. Old outlets have a higher tendency of catching on fire. Second, of course, be appearance. They're going to look a lot better. And then functionality, the things you're trying to plug in don't fall out of the wall. That also kind of correlates with safety. And then energy efficiency. Changing out an outlet in your house might seem like a very daunting task, but if you have the right PPE and tools, it's a pretty simple task to undertake. The first step would be kill power to that receptacle. In order to find that specific breaker that is attached to that receptacle, there are tools available to help you. You can purchase a plug tester. It tells me everything I need to know about the outlet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. The two lights will come on. This tells me that there's correct wiring at this receptacle. From there, I'm going to go to my circuit breaker and start shutting off breakers one by one until this light disappears. That'll tell me when I found the breaker attached to it. And that means it's not live. The next steps would be to remove the cover plate and then unscrew the outlet from the junction box. Pull that receptacle from the junction box away, being careful not to touch any of the wires.
Even with it dead, I still want to act like it's live. So now we want to take off the wires.
Use a Phillips head screwdriver to unscrew the wires from their terminals.
That would be the hot conductor.
So the wires are now loose from our old outlet here. Okay, so now other side. So the colors represent the purpose of those wires. Okay, so the white means it's what's known as a neutral wire. So finally, we're going to remove the ground wire from the outlet. Should always be done last. The ground wire is either green or bare copper. Okay, so now what you would do, disconnect the wires from their terminals of that old receptacle, remove it, and then grab your new one and terminate those wires on the new receptacle.
So the first thing I do is attach the ground wire to the green ground screw.
Ensure a proper connection there, nice and snug. Then I would move on to the neutral wires. We're making sure we have very tight connections here.
Okay, now we're doing the hot wire.
Push all those wires back in, and then screw the new receptacle down. Get both screws started. So it's tight up against the junction box there. So you want no movement here. From that point, you place the cover plate back on that receptacle, turn power back on, and then test it. Test that you've made all the right connections there by getting that plug tester we talked about and plugging it back in to the outlet. So when swapping on a light switch, it's the same process as swapping out an outlet. Dimmers are roughly the same. You can replace your own GFCI outlet if you're comfortable doing that. But be warned that it's different from a standard receptacle, okay? There's a certain place for every type of wire. And if you get it wrong, then it won't work correctly. It won't be offering you that protection that you want out of it. GFCI stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interruption. If the electricity finds a path unintended, it's able to tell within like a fraction of a second and kill power. You'll commonly find them in bathrooms, kitchens, garages, and exterior of the home. Okay? Anywhere within 6 feet of water source, it's also required because those areas have a higher rate of electrocution. Safety should always be the top priority when working with electricity. The safety risk of changing your own electrical outlets is improper installation, which can result in fire and electrocution. The electrocution part of it is when you are actually installing that outlet. Maybe you've accidentally left the electricity on. You can hurt yourself doing this. The fire risk for an improper installation is if your connections aren't tight enough and there's gap between the wire and that termination screw. This can lead to the metal getting extremely hot from the electricity arcing over hours of time. which can result in fire. If you're comfortable doing this and you know the safety precautions behind it, go ahead and try. But strongly recommend, if there's any doubt at all or the safety precautions are a bit hazy, call a professional.